throw away your perfumes, your colognes, your deodorants, medicines, or anything else that has chemicals in it for sure. Our next guest wants you to do just that. Just kidding, but kind of. Welcome our guest today, Allison White. Allison is a Christian mom of 4, avid runner, passionate about all things natural wellness, enjoys teaching and speaking, loves to sing, journalism, history major at Baylor Bear. We won't hold it against you. Loves all things Texas, loves to travel, read. She's an Enneagram 3, like myself. She also runs a team through Young Living and loves to equip and educate others as they grow in their confidence in natural and proactive wellness. Welcome, Allison. So good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm very excited to hear about this. Whether someone has, and I have no idea the perspective of the world. I'm giving you the perspective of me. I've seen you because we're friends. I've seen the oils. I've seen how you use them. I've also heard the MLM stuff. But I'm very excited to hear the story behind you and everything with that, because if I'm honest, there's a lot of me that's like, there's got to be a lot of value to what you're doing. I don't think you'd be as passionate as you were if you didn't believe that. So
sure.
Anyway, very excited. So let's start with this. First, tell us a little about you, where you're at in life, what you're doing, and then kind of maybe even a little bit of story where you grew up a little bit, and then how you got to where you're at, and then what brought you into the oil world.
Okay, that's a tall order, but
yes, it is.
Here I am, approaching 40, living here in Sienna, Missouri City area with my husband, Kason. We have 4 daughters, ranging down 11, 8, 5, and 4. They keep us really busy. So we're just enjoying all things community and church and friendships and just making family memories and kind of just doing the thing in 2022 like everybody else. So I grew up in the Northwest Houston area, kind of Copperfield, Cypress area, and just was there most of the time until went off to Baylor. So kind of Houston born and raised. Well, I'm Mexican born, but Houston raised for the most part. Lived up in Dallas for a little bit, but yeah. So we've been in Houston throughout our marriage. Lived in town up in the Meyerland, Bel Air area for 10 years before relocating to Sienna. So. And
then you, how long have you been actively using essential oils?
8 years.
8 years. Okay.
8 years in August.
So tell us what time period and when did it start where you started placing an interest in kind of moving more to this holistic life?
Yes.
Am I saying that right, by the way? Holistic life?
Sure. You can, holistic is great.
Okay.
Natural wellness focused. Natural, I guess.
Sure.
Either one. Whatever.
Okay, cool.
So when I got started with this in 2014, I had just 2 little ones, and I was always more natural leaning in my life. Growing up, my mom was just one that was a little more like, we just didn't pop pills for everything or go to the pediatrician for everything. There was a lot of wisdom I saw in my mom of drink some water, lie down, let me rub your back, take a nap. A lot of times that fixed a lot of things. It doesn't fix everything, but we didn't run to drugs or medicines.
Did she had no oils at that time?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. So, growing up, just kind of had that focus. And then when I started having children and really wanting to focus on what I put in and on my body, and then thinking about their births, I was a little more crunchy there, where I had midwives deliver them, not in a barn, not in a field, but at Texas Children's Hospital, but wanted to do it naturally, do it the way my body was built to do it. So that was something I was passionate about. So your kids were all
born in Texas Women's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Texas Children's, the Women's Pavilion, yeah.
Rebecca was born there. My daughter was born there. Oh, but the other 2 in California. But okay. And so you said you did use a midwife, or you did not?
I did. They have a great team of midwives there. So you're in a hospital.
I literally don't know any about this. I thought midwives is like they come to your house.
Oh, they do that too. They do that too. But you can have a natural birth in the hospital. And so people...
Well, right. But that's considered what? So again, playing dumb.
No, you're fine.
Not playing dumb.
Yeah, no.
Midwife is someone who assists you with the birth.
Yes.
Not a doctor.
Not a doctor.
And you're not using medicine.
No.
Okay. So that's because when some people say natural birth, like my wife had 3 C-sections, that's not natural birth, but she couldn't have done that.
Right.
So she had to go that route.
Right.
We did try the natural route, but I think it was still like, we're going to do natural, but let's pop in the epidural.
Yes.
Or is it epidural? That's the right word. Yes.
Yeah. And it's not as people think it's so weird, but I was more afraid of my body not responding to the epidural well and having an emergency C-section or putting.
Right.
So I was less afraid of the pain and more afraid of that. And so people go, "Oh, that's so weird that you did that." But it's like it just comes down to what you're more afraid of. And I was more afraid of not being able to deliver the baby or how my body would respond.
So you had. I don't know if this is a bad question.
No.
You had all 4 babies natural.
I did.
No.
I did, and 2 of them were over 9 pounds.
Wow.
So yeah, the first one and the third one. Abby Ruth was the biggest, 9'9".
Which I heard this at recently with Kaysen. He was
10, 15.
10, 15 pounds.
And I was 8 too, so happy averages.
And did he have everything was good with his birth? I can't remember.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was not?
No,
So,
he was like 2 months late. No, I'm joking. But his was very emergency.
oh, got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
San
Sorry.
Antonio.
I was just there holding a hand and,
Yeah, yeah.
helping get through and take the picture. And
Yes.
that's what I was there for.
Yes. But back to...
Yes. Sorry.
Sorry, I know this is your podcast.
Yeah, you're good.
So having these babies, being careful about what was on my body during pregnancy, they have stuffy noses, they have coughs, they have fevers. And if you look on most bottles of even children's medicine, you can't give a lot to kids under 2.
Right.
And so that was a little bit like, well, what am I supposed to do? And
Was that when like the light clicked off though, when you were like, I can't give my kids medicine when they're sick?
a little bit. That was a part of it. And then just being like, well, there'd be the natural thing on the store shelf next to it. But then a lot of times those things were not very effective. Is like, I don't know, a sugar pill with a little bit of lavender in it or something. And I'm like, well, that doesn't work either. There's got to be something I can do. Right. So it was an educational and equipping journey that got me started, like looking around. There's got to be something to do.
And then how did you come across, was Young Living the first?
Yeah.
Group?
Yes. I had read about some other oils. I actually researched a lot of different brands of oils before I kind of jumped in with Young Living.
That would make sense per year.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Well, I was kind of going, these are on my kids. These are on me. Right. They're little. I mean, they were everywhere. That was when the people, like I said, kind of see it as a fad. Like it got started in like 2012, 2013. People are all talking about really oils. I mean, more so than, hey, these have been around since 3500 BC, but all of a sudden it's this hot topic that everyone thinks is a fad. So,
and why do you think that became a fad then?
I think a lot, maybe in the past decade, I think there's been a lot that's made people go, why are we so sick? Why are we so stressed? Why aren't we sleeping well? What are we putting on and around our bodies and in our bodies that makes us not well? And I think people are investigating ingredient lists, seeing causes of cancer, seeing product recalls, and just kind of people are starting, I think, to wake up a little bit to like, we're these things are on our store shelves, but that doesn't mean they're good for us. Right. So I think a little bit of that has become a little more popular to kind of not just take things for face value. And so I think that's what prompted a lot of it. And then when people start seeing results and going, wow, this is really working, it has kind of spread like wildfire.
That's interesting. I mean, and two, it's like, I'm not going to get into the vaccine debate, but I mean, obviously that I feel like in my lifetime, and I'm 42 years old, but in my lifetime, that's the first time it was a very stark line of like, hey, something was developed in a very quick, and we do have great modern medicine, and there's been vaccines have been proven to work in certain other things, but this was created so quickly, and it's like, do I trust it? That being, and whatever political stance is, but you think that was similar to what was kind of happening when this fad was not fad, but that's when
a little bit of awareness
of it coming. Okay.
I think so. I think just people are starting to question things. I think there's a lot of things that were, again, if you want to get into local political climate, what's on media, what's on this channel versus that channel, this publication versus that, they're very, very different things. And so I think there are people that go, I got to kind of sort this out myself as best I can. It's hard.
Yeah. And and the reality is like, I think the good thing that, I wish like in media, I don't know if there is one. I was always like, man, I want someone to just like, back in the old days, it was like, there was no politics or opinion to it. It was like, we're just reporting the news. That's what it was. And I think in many different parts, in many different industries, maybe this one too, it's like medicine or whatever it is like, where do you go to actually get the most non-opinionated, non-political information? So, yep. I mean, and you said you're kind of passionate about helping educate people with that.
Yes. And I think there's a lot to be said. I like to help people build confidence in becoming their own health advocate. Like that sounds really buzzwordy, but just kind of going, hey, you know your body. You can go to the doctor and you can absolutely accept what they have to say, but also push a little bit, or ask more questions, understand why they're telling you what they're telling you. Think about things like, again, people have different opinions about functional medicine or chiropractors, but there's a lot that, like, when I was in a car accident with Madeline in 2012, the first ER I went to wanted to just dope me up with pain meds. And I'm like, no, my back is crooked. Like I was in a rollover car accident. Like, so I went to the chiropractor and they had me fixed in like 2 visits. I mean, they fixed my back. They put it back in place. And so I could have taken pain pills, could have whatever, and masked it. And that jumps into a little bit of the perspective shift, of the kind of, proactive Eastern type medicine versus the reactive Western. Sometimes I don't want to put too general labels on it, but as a society, we tend to want to just mask symptoms rather than address the cause potentially.
Which goes into lots of other issues too, of like masking symptoms. But all right, so going back to you were concerned about what you were giving your kids. You're concerned about your own health. You went to a meeting, right? You went to a young level. Was it a meeting, or was it a sales pitch, or was it a class? Okay. Yeah. And then what made you go, okay, I'm ready to, this is what I step on to go? The
girl that was teaching the class was just so genuine and so knowledgeable and so just humble. She wasn't salesy. She was just kind of like, this has changed my life, and this is the journey my family's on. This has helped my kids. She had a couple kids with special needs. She had a couple adopted kids. Like, this has been able to help a variety of issues around our house, not the least of which is, just our physical wellness, being healthier in general from a baseline. And so I was just intrigued. And those were all oils. If I had gone to the grocery store, which don't buy your oils at the grocery store, I would have picked all those up.
How much of that, I mean, you were telling me a little bit before, how much do you think, like, especially in the medicine / whatever that section would be, skincare, all that other stuff, how much of that is bad for you, in your opinion?
A lot. I mean, just go read the ingredients. There's a lot on the ingredient label that is just not great. There's a lot of things that are marketed to American consumers that aren't even allowed in other countries. I feel like in other countries, they're way more lenient in getting like what do you call it? The antibiotics and pain relievers or whatever. But then in some ways we're more lenient with other stuff. So, I guess it is a little different with certain pharmaceuticals. I think there's a couple people I follow on Instagram that, one is she's called Food Babe, and she'll put like a Doritos bag in the UK versus a Doritos bag in America. And the Doritos bag in the UK has this many ingredients. I'm making a little finger here. Right. And the US has like all these chemicals and food dye and, artificial this and artificial that and artificial this, preservatives and all these things that it's like, well, is it really good for you if it can sit on the shelf for 2 years?
And it's just a money thing.
Yeah.
It's just because it's cheaper to make it.
Yeah. And it lasts longer on the shelf.
Right.
So let's add the things that will help that and the bottom line.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I start thinking, I'm like, I had a bag of Doritos last week.
Yeah, and everything in moderation, right? So we're not like perfect at our house.
So I can have a little bit of red dye in moderation.
Yeah. Okay. But don't look up what it'll do to you.
Oh, gosh. All right. So you went to it and then you were just intrigued with it. Were you more interested in the sales side of it? Because obviously Young Living is a business, and I'll talk about that a little bit, or ask you some questions about that, or just the overall health side.
Overall health side first. I was surprised how quickly I was like, I want to bring this to other families. I was never attracted to the multi-level marketing model. Some people would come to me and say, don't you want to sell jewelry? No, thank you. Do you want to sell makeup? I don't really wear that much. So nothing clicked until this. This was something I was like, I would shout this from the rooftops whether you paid me or not. Like I would be giving bottles to people on vacation whether I did it or not. I'd bring you when you were all sick the other week, and I just like, here, take all this stuff and just take these supplements.
Again, I didn't like feel anything enter my body, but all I know is the next morning I was like, man, I feel a lot better. And what was I doing before that? I don't remember, but it wasn't essential oils. So you decided to do this, which is, honestly, like whether you do it for a living or not, you can't, and I think a lot of people get, whether it's multi-level marketing or, pyramid, whatever you want to call it, which by the way, here's my opinion on pyramids, which I don't know. What's the difference between a pyramid and multi-level marketing?
Well, in multi-level marketing, like pyramid implies that the top of the pyramid does the best. And yes, if you lead a team, you do the best. But to me, that's most corporations in corporate America. The CEO does the best, right?
That's exactly what I was going to say, yes.
So multi-level marketing, I have outranked the girl that I signed up under. You can outrank any... People on my team can outrank me. So you can
become the CEO.
You as corny as it sounds, you control your own destiny. So if there's a month you want to like go hard and do a whole bunch of stuff, and you'll see that in your paycheck the next month. If you're like, hey, I need to take a break, I'm going to just sit back. It's this income is just it happens whether or not you got to work, but it's this. Just it comes because you built a team, and then you can go big or small, and it's only it's up to you. It's truly up to you.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like that was my opinion on pyramids. Everybody's like always dogging, and everybody thinks about the Office scene where Michael's like, I buy these cards. It was calling cards. I mean, imagine selling calling cards today. I buy these cards, and then I go get you to sell this many, and then you get this many, and then he's like, it's not a pyramid scheme, and then Jim walks up and's like.
Yes.
But I drew a triangle, by the way.
Yes.
But the reality is every single corporation is a pyramid. You have a CEO, you have a board of directors, you have, I mean, it just keeps working your way.
C-suite, all the way down.
All the way down. It's the same thing. I mean, it's just, I don't know why it had, I mean,
there are illegitimate, like, the other thing I loved is there was not like this big buy-in. I think there's a lot of MLMs like what was that, LuLaRoe, the clothing thing that kind of went under, and there was all these lawsuits. Basically the buy-in for that was like $6,000, and you had to buy all the clothes that then you had to go turn around and sell. I don't keep inventory. I don't sell from, I sign people up. It's more like an Amazon affiliate link.
Drop ship or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's just more like, when someone on Instagram says, hey, do you like my dress? Go buy it on, and then they get a cut. It's kind of like that. I'm responsible for education. When Young Living was getting started, it's over 25 years old, 1994-ish. They intentionally said, we don't want to just put these on store shelves. We want to provide education. And so that's what the independent distributor is supposed to kind of at least support and go, hey, here's a book. Come to my house. Let's mix some stuff up. Let me teach you. Let me walk you through this. And do it that route versus we're going to just put it on a bunch of store shelves. And you can buy it at certain stores. There's stores that carry it, but it's mostly through independent distributors.
Are there, so let me actually go back. So you brought it home. You decided this we're going to do for business. And how quickly did you implement oils into your life? And then how far did you go? Like in your, like, what are you not buying now? How did you, and then maybe how you phase that out, but what's like, I do not buy this in the store. I only do oil for this.
Okay. So all of our vitamins and supplements are from Young Living.
Okay.
There's a joke that's like, don't buy your supplements where you buy your toilet paper.
Just,
okay.
Got it.
Rule of thumb. Maybe not. I don't know.
That's good.
Let's see. So obviously any oils we don't buy at the grocery store. Essential oils are not regulated by the FDA. Supplements are not regulated by the FDA. Anyone can put 100% anything on any bottle without, it doesn't matter. It's even can be like, that like if you put some coffee grounds in your coffee maker and you do your first pot, like that's the one you drink, right? Yeah. You don't like leave your coffee grounds in there and then like run it again and run it again and run it again. A lot of these companies will do that. They'll do the third, the fourth, the fifth distillation. Okay. Instead of
essential oils companies are doing this.
Okay. Oh yeah. So, I really encourage people, like, you don't have to buy Young Living oils, but if you need to know where they come from, you need to know the farming.
Which where do Young Living oils come from?
Several farms all over the world. I've been to 3 of them. I've watched the distillations, have been in the fields, I've seen it. From the probably my favorite farm that I went to was up in northern Idaho, just off the the border of Canada. Yep. And these big trees, and then so they've got them all, they threw them through the wood chipper and put them in there, and then like you get your head in a vat of that. That's like where this one comes from, Canada. But it's these big tree oils that are all like grounding, and they're just take a big whiff of that and see if it doesn't make you just feel better about your life.
I feel like I want to go cut down a tree.
I know. You just want to go spend some time in the woods.
That does. Oh my gosh. So that literally just comes from a tree.
Yeah.
100% pure therapeutic grade essential oil. Got it. So what else is there? I mean, what other things do you not?
Well, we don't, I mean, this sounds really hippie, but like we don't have any medicine in our house.
Okay.
We don't.
No medicine. No medicine. Ibuprofen.
No. Kaysen might have some in an old briefcase somewhere, but like
he's not in the back, just popping ibuprofen.
No, he's not. No, he's not. When his allergies, he usually uses oils for his allergies. When he gets them real bad, he'll do a little nose spray, but that's about, people will be like, do you have Advil? I'm like, no, sorry.
Right.
So like I quickly learned that, especially after all these teething gels get recalled they're supposed to be safe for the babies. Well, they keep getting recalled. So I'm like looking up that. So I find that clove oil numbs, mixed with coconut oil, mixed with a little of an oil called copaiba to reduce inflammation. So I made my own little teething thing and just, you rub it on their gums. And
is there anything you do have that does have chemicals in it?
Probably. Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to figure out how far down the road can you go with.
You can go like really far with DIY. We are not like 100%, really, really hippie people, but like so I'll use Young Living laundry detergent, but I'll also buy like the Costco Kirkland's, but I'll buy it unscented. We avoid anything that has the word fragrance on the label.
Okay. So it's not a fragrance, but you always smell good.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's not a perfume.
No, no more perfume.
Even when you were walking here today, Steve's like, what is that smell? I was like, That's Allison. And you have the same smell.
That's this one right here.
And what is that? Is that
It's called Magnify Your Purpose.
So
it's got sandalwood, sage, nutmeg, bergamot.
Are you only using this for perfume? Mm-hmm. Okay. So,
not that. I almost always only wear that one. Okay. But I only use oils. I don't use perfume anymore.
Can this serve another purpose?
Yeah, I mean, it's here. So here's another little thing. So when I first got involved with oils, there's several blends that are like for emotional support. And I was like, forgiveness? What? There's an oil called forgiveness? What does that mean?
Right.
Clarity, Envision. Here, I'm going to give you this bottle of Envision. It is to inspire creativity. And so I thought,
I need a lot of that.
Yeah. You need a little focus. So anyway, we
am I just supposed to smell it?
Yeah, you can put it on your wrist or just put a couple drops and then tint it over your nose. And
okay. Yeah.
It's a little floral, but I should have just brought you a diffuser to keep in your office.
I mean, starting to think about things already.
I know that. Look at you. So I guess I made the kind of the logic in my brain went, okay, do I believe that if I sniff lavender, does it help calm me down? Right. Yes. It's in people put lavender in everything because it's calming. It's calming for baby wash, whatever, calming. Right. A lot of that is synthetic lavender. But then I went, well, couldn't other oils do other things in your brain? Yeah. And so now we have the benefit of technology where there's been so many studies done, government studies, big mainstream studies, where they'll put a certain oil in your hand and you do exactly what you did, and they can put the little things on your brain, and then you see different synapses firing up, and it's like,
well, I was going to ask you
that's really opening these pathways.
Because I was asking you, how do you determine, and by the way, let me just say this real quick. I asked Allison to come on this because I'm very intrigued with this, and I don't know, and that's part of it. Like I want to be educated and understand it. And I was like, hey, this is perfect. I think other people might want to be. This is not a plug for Young Living. It's a plug for understanding what this type of lifestyle looks like and kind of just opening your mind to it. So that there's nothing in here for me. There's no promotional, whatever. But I guess, how do they decide what oil does what? Like, how do you go, all right, envision whatever's in this, and I smell it, is going to make you feel creative? It's the science behind it.
There's a lot of science. There's a surprising amount of research that is out there.
And where would people find that research?
I mean, like that article I sent you from Inc. Right. Like there's studies, university studies everywhere. I mean, there's, and again, like peppermint, the University of Cincinnati found that inhaling peppermint oil increased mental clarity by 28%. I don't know how they measure all that stuff, but there's these bona fide university studies out there. As far as mixing them themselves, I mean, I know that Young Living has a team of scientists. A lot of it did come from the research of our late founder, Gary Young, of just experimenting and putting them together. And there's a lot of science. There's a lot of chemical components from a chemistry perspective, organic chemistry. So there's certain things like monoterpenes and sesquiterpenes and notes and things that if you really wanted to dig into the science, I've got books and books of it, of how they synergize and how they work together at a molecular level. So there's some of that too, that they can just go, hey, these molecules bounce together and create these different effects. So it's interesting. And
then how far back, you were mentioning this too, just like 3,500 BC is what you said. Yeah. And there was no modern medicine then. So this is what they used.
Yeah. So like I said, I feel like the essential oil fad maybe started, I don't know, 2010, 2012, people started to think it was cool, and manufacturers started putting it on their laundry detergent. Oh, this is made with essential oils. Again, who knows? But you can go back to Bible times. There's essential oils throughout the Bible. That's one of the classes I teach, is called Oils of the Bible. And they're throughout the Old Testament. They're throughout the New Testament. They're in the last days of Jesus's life. The hyssop. The hyssop used, the things in Song of Solomon, the things in the Psalms, that these aren't just oils that they're using for health, but they have symbolism as well. That meant something to the Hebrew people, to the Greek people. When these oils are mentioned, they know what they're used for. And so you can go back so far and see that. And again, it's treated a little bit as a fad, but this is what you had before you had Advil and Tylenol and all that stuff. So, yeah.
So here's another question then. What about I'm gonna be the devil's advocate for a second. That's out there, and they're like, but you can't like completely negate modern medicine. Like,
of course not.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that you're not on that realm of like, hey, I'll never.
No.
I'll never. Because for like, here's a situation I was thinking. My wife, of course, what was it like? A month ago, got kidney stones, and I'm carrying her to the emergency room.
Right.
She's has to crawl into the emergency room.
I know. So sad.
And in the most pain I've ever seen her in. And I mean, she just needed morphine because of the pain there. But you're not going to be like, I mean, that situation, do most people who like have this very holistic life are like, nope, I'm going to push through this, or I'll put some oil on or whatever, or they're going to be like, give me the morphine.
Oh, they take the morphine.
Okay, got it.
No, I think there's certainly a time and place for modern medicine. I take my kids to the pediatrician. I will say, since using these in our home on a daily basis, none of my kids have had a sick visit to the doctor in 8 years.
I know. That was the crazy thing. I was like, you guys never go to the doctor.
And so I've been equipped. Here's another shift kind of from the Western reactive to more the Eastern or natural proactive approach. I feel like a lot of times in our society, we'll go, I'll wait for my headache to get really bad before I take this.
Right.
Or, if it gets real bad, I'll take that. And like, or maybe people are just popping them when slight discomfort. But I used to be that way. Now, when I feel the slightest tickle in my throat, the slightest congestion, my girls come to me with the slightest ear thing. It's like, we're not only using them every day in general, just as our immune support, our respiratory support, whatever the case may be. It's like the first sign, we're like, go hard on it and just go, okay, what do you need? We're going to take this. We're going to drink that. We're going to put this on. So it's a little more, in my opinion, proactive and empowering to just go, I'm not going to get sick, but just nip it in the bud kind of response versus, well, let's see how it goes. And then we'll take something, or then I'll give my kids something. From
a long-term, because these are obviously not the cheapest things in the world, from a long-term, but obviously if they're coming from, like, I can see why they're expensive now if you're telling me that. By the way, are there any other companies that have the same level of quality that this does?
I would say probably the second, in my opinion, the second best is probably doTERRA.
Okay.
They started from people from Young Living.
Oh, got it.
So I like ours because it's kind of the original. There are probably others out there. This was the one I landed on because of the array and variety of oils that they offered, as well as products. And then just the different guarantees from this time the seed goes in the soil to the time the bottle's got the cap on it.
Got it.
So
Okay.
Here's a little quick PSA. There are oils on Amazon, Young Living oils, but people will pop the caps off and put them in a bunch of bottles, refill them, and put another unsealed cap on.
Oh,
so again,
Lord.
just the depths of human.
I know. Well, that's happened. I mean, obviously that's with everything you can pirate.
So
per se.
just a thought.
So here's a question for people who are like, all right, I don't want to do this as a business.
No.
I just want to dabble, get my foot in the door and figure out how would I embrace this maybe for like everyday aches and pains, headaches, colds, whatever it might be. Is there like a entry level to without being like, I'm jumping into a bath full of oils?
Oh, sure. So there's lots of different things you can do. I don't sit here and try to, in anything with my business, try to diagnose, treat, or prescribe anything to anyone. I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be.
Right.
I like to think I'm a very well-educated mom with a lot of experience on a lot of kids, and myself, my husband, people I've been around to have great faith in my research and all of that. But I I'm going to tell people, consult your doctor, talk to someone, with a high level of medical expertise.
Right.
But in combining with things like exercise and sleep and diet and just the things that we're supposed to do, the best way to kind of dabble and get started and go, I'm going to explore this a little bit is probably a starter kit like ours. It has 12 oils. It comes with a lot of education. You'd get hooked up with a team that can help you. And you kind of I tell people all the time, if you're using those 12 oils to their fullest potential, there's not a lot I'm going to go, hey, do this, do that.
So you said, get hooked up with a team. That doesn't mean necessarily business perspective, but that team's going to help you understand it.
I would say probably 92, I think is the latest percentage. I got to look at our income disclosure, but 92% of people that are quote unquote Young Living members don't do the business.
Got it.
They just,
That's
just purchase the oils. They're just, they just use it for their personal benefit.
And what's the most top 3 used oils you think out there?
I would venture to say, lavender, peppermint, and a blend we have called Thieves. That's our big time immune.
And what is that? What's the symptoms that they're helping out with?
So lavender is all things skin. It's also an adaptogen, which is just a fancy word to say that it balances you out. So like if you're tired, lavender can actually give you some energy. If you're wound up, if you're wound up, it can calm you down.
So wait, what is it called?
Adaptogen. Helps your body adapt. So it gets you back into balance. Yep. It has a lot of benefits. So that's why it's so popular. You see it, it's a mainstream deal that's just kind of, oh yeah, lavender, people kind of understand that. And then, peppermint, is probably my favorite because it has so many uses. I mean, it's dietary. It can calm your stomach down. From a diet perspective, if you're trying to control your appetite, it actually talks to the limbic system of your brain and tells you to feel full. So when we have peppermints after a meal, it's not just to freshen our breath, but it's to send that signal to your brain, I'm done eating, I'm full. It is great for sore muscles. It's cooling. If you need to regulate body temperature, a lot of times I'll just put a drop of peppermint in my kid's belly button. I know that sounds like really, really crazy,
right,
but that can help regulate body temperature. Huh. It's good for focus. Like I said, there's different studies from Japan, from the United States, all over that say peppermint can increase mental clarity. And so it's great to take a deep breath and...
Yeah, I mean, it does. I mean, obviously it smells great too.
Yeah, it's good for sore, I think I said sore muscles. So it just has so many benefits that I think it's really, really good.
So if someone got this entry level thing or whatever, which I'll give you your information out and they can find you or whatever, does it come with like an instruction book? Because I'd be throwing oils all over myself.
I know. And that's, see, you're further along than a lot of people because we're so conditioned to Western medicine. People are used to take 2 of this every 6 to 8 hours.
Right.
That's what's on our boxes, right? So people go, can I put another drop of peppermint on myself? And I'm like, you can put it in your bathtub if you want. Like, just like anything, you don't want to just shoot the whole bottle down your throat. That will not go well for anyone. But you're not going to overdose. You're not going to overuse it. It's really starts to be intuitive. And my kids have learned that. They know which oils to ask for. And they'll come back in certain frequency and ask for them and go, I need some tummy oils. I need something for my head. I can't calm down. I need some peace and calming. That's their favorite to put on their loveys at night. And so they'll come and ask for it. And there's not really, there's instructions for dilution because it's potent. So some of them are hotter to the touch without a little bit of like olive oil or coconut oil or something to spread it out. But overall, you can't go wrong. Your body knows what to do with it.
What do you feel is the biggest objection of people not wanting to try the oil stuff that you've experienced personally, not necessarily the news or whatever?
Sure. I think the mindset is challenging for people. I think it sometimes can make people uncomfortable to feel like, wait, this can do what this can do. I don't know if I'm ready to accept that. And I know that sounds really existential crisis, but I think sometimes people, there's like a kind of funny essential oil meme that's like, oh, I'm worried about that bottle of lavender, she said, while she chugged a Mountain Dew and, ate Doritos and popped all these pills. Like we don't know what's in people don't do the due diligence to know what's in a lot of our products that we use, that we consume, that we rub on our skin, which is the largest organ of our body. And so I think sometimes there's just a resistance to like, oh, there's another way to do this. I'm not sure if I'm ready to dive into that. So I think that's one of the biggest.
So another question, I that's what I'm doing here. Lots of questions is, I mean, obviously what we eat has a giant effect on how we feel and our health in general. So does this play a part, or it's just like kind of complementary to the eating side of it?
Oh, I think it's definitely complementary. And then it can help you when you, like, we have a chlorine detox roller that you can help your body. If you're in a pool all day, every day, you can do it's not great. Chlorine's great. It serves a great purpose in pools, but it's not great to soak your body in for long periods of time. So you can do a chlorine detox roller, and it can help your body filter out those chemicals.
Which has made my daughter's hair turn green for whatever reason.
Yeah, we'll get her one of those.
And so, and what other products do you guys have that are kind of natural without chemicals? You said laundry detergent. Is there anything? Household
cleaner. The only household cleaner we use right now is all plant-based, which is really great to get cleaning chemicals out of your home, depending on the fumes and the things that are in there that we breathe in. A lot of personal care products, especially women's, I mean, men's too, if it's got fragrance, if it's got sodium lauryl sulfate, if it's got propylene glycol, those are some of the ones I would.
Did you just say
off.
These are the bad
a few of them, yes.
So you said 12 bad chemicals?
Well, there's 10, there's a lot, but if there's 10 or 12 main ones, and again, I can't rattle them all off.
I'll get them from you and I'm going to put them on here.
Okay, great.
Because then when everybody goes to the grocery store, they're going to start going, crap, it's got that in there.
No, I know. And it's bad. You kind of see stuff. So something like sodium lauryl sulfate is used to degrease auto mechanic floors. And that's what we put in our shampoo.
Oh, my Lord.
So that can help people actually overproduce oil in their scalp because they're stripping the healthy oil out of their hair.
Right.
So it makes you want to shampoo more, and it helps. We are addicted to lather, and these things are lathering. And so it's.
Give me another scary one like that.
I know.
I'm
so sorry.
So I can get freaked out.
Well, I will just say one that's easy to remember and easy to try to avoid. And it's hard to avoid, but it's easy to find on labels is fragrance. If it's got fragrance in it, any company can use the banner fragrance or parfum to hide whatever chemicals they want under the guise of proprietary information. So they're like, well, this is our fragrance. We're not going to tell you exactly what's in it. It's our recipe. It's what makes us unique. But they can put anything in that and classify it as fragrance. So there's all sorts of stuff that's synthetic, that's chemicals, that is, just not good for you from a respiratory standpoint, from a headache standpoint. That if you just look and see, does it have fragrance? We try to avoid anything with fragrance, as draconian as that sounds.
Last question before I jump to our drink of choice, and then our rapid fire right after that is, by the way, just FYI, kind of cool is Allison's been with Young Living, and in the business side of it, grown to gold, which is, tell me what that is, by the way.
Well, our ranks go month by month. We start over at 0 every month.
Okay.
So that means in any given month that I hit gold, we have $35,000 in sales. And then there's 3 teams under me that have at least 6,000 in sales.
Got it. Okay. And a team is it can be big or little, whatever. Got it. Cool. That's awesome. And then business wise, if someone did want to get into it, what's kind of the entry level of that? I'm assuming you have to buy some type of oil too to probably jump in that.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way is to get that starter kit and start using it, start talking about it.
What does that cost to get in?
$165.
Okay.
Which, if you're starting a business, I mean, come on. If you want to try, if you want to dabble.
It's better than buying $10,000 of inventory and having to sell it off.
Yeah, and then there's a business, it's like a little business kit that's $35. That gives you some promotional materials to just kind of get you started as a brand partner. So it's to me, the level of entry is always worth trying. And in our economy, diversification of income is really huge. I think is something that anyone can go, yeah, that's important right now with how everything's going.
Well, and I think it's really good that, especially for some, it's obviously not for everybody, but when you're passionate about it, and that's where yours started, was your passion for your health, your kids, it's so much easier to be in sales that way because I love what I do, and which makes it a whole lot easier to do my job.
Right.
And so I'm sure that's probably part of what makes it good for you is just you're passionate about it.
Yes.
I did want to do this peppermint thing. Let's tell the peppermint. I got to was it the peppermint? Did that happen in Mexico?
Well, that was a blend called Aroma Ease, which has peppermint in it, but it has a few other things. It's a blend formulated especially for nausea, which I brought thinking we would need it on the fishing boat, and we didn't. Cesar took care of it.
Yes. So basically, my wife and Allison Case, we went to Cancun, and we were there, and this lady had quite a bit too much to drink, and she was sitting down at the dinner table. And
We'll
she
give her
was,
some credit. She was on a boat. She was in the sun. It could have been a lot of things.
yes, and she was holding, she was like holding her hands over her head, and I went over there. I was like, "Hey, are you all right?" And she's there, and their friends were basically making fun of her because of that. Well, anyway, I was like, "I don't have a solution. Drink more water, sleep it off, whatever." And you go get your oils from the hotel. You come back. I look over there. She's smelling the thing, and then next thing I know, she's like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so much better." See her the next morning.
Got to see her at breakfast the next morning.
And what did she say that next morning?
She ran up to me and gave me a big hug. She looked like $1 million. I barely recognized her from the night before when she had her head in her hands, and I'm rubbing her back and having her like put the oils in her hand and tint her nose and just kind of, take these deep breaths. So she gave me this big hug. She's like, "I feel so much better, and I got to sleep, and everything." She was just, it just made me excited. That's the kind of thing that I just get really jazzed about, is just helping her. And
yeah. I mean, you gave her the whole bottle. So that was right. Okay. Drink of choice. You chose the From Being Here, which is closest coffee shop. Eric, who was on the previous podcast, he did Being Here too. And drink of choice is iced coconut Pandan latte, which I don't even know what Pandan is. It is shorter than most people, so it's funny. Yeah.
Do you like it?
I do like it. So what I do is I rank it by the genre. What genre would this be in? Coffee? Or
I think it's coffee, but so the Pandan is from Southeast Asia, and it's like a kind of a grassy vanilla with a hint of coconut kind of flavor. So and then it has a little bit of rose and a little bit of lavender, which of course, that's my jam.
So it has essential oil. I'm literally drinking oil.
Yeah, probably.
I'm giving it a 9. Like it's
not too sweet either. It's a good summer drink.
It doesn't taste like it looks. So,
what do you think it tastes like? Pistachios or what?
It looks like pistachios, but no, it doesn't. It tastes like coffee, but lighter. I don't know. Coffee. It tastes like coffee with like a vanilla tint to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, rapid fire. Here's how it works.
Okay.
I ask a question. First round, it's one word.
Okay.
1 to 2 words.
Okay.
Second round, it's like one phrase, not a sentence.
Okay.
And you cannot go past those rules, or we have to stop.
Okay.
So here we go. Who's your biggest hero?
Jesus.
There you go. Where'd you go on last vacation?
Oh, Costa Mujeres.
Where do you live now?
Siena.
What's your favorite breakfast?
Eggs.
Favorite dessert?
Ooh. Chocolate mousse. That's 2 words.
What's your favorite store? You can do 2 words.
Okay. H-E-B.
What time do you wake up in the morning?
6.
What time do you go to bed at night?
11:30.
Gosh, you don't sleep at all. You need to go listen to another podcast I did on that. Describe your style in 1 word.
Easy.
I like that. What were you afraid of as a child?
I don't know.
Pass.
Sorry.
How often do you floss?
Not enough.
Do you have a nickname?
Al.
Major in college?
Journalism and history.
Stupidest dare you ever agreed to do?
Oh. Write my name and phone number in the bathroom on the wall in Dallas.
Is your bed made right now?
Usually it is. Today it's not.
Favorite board game?
Probably Monopoly.
Favorite Disney character?
Chip and Dale. Sorry.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
If you were to write a book, what would it be about?
Wellness.
I figured that. Do you speak more than 1 language?
I can't claim that.
Okay. Have you ever won a contest?
Yes.
Would you ever skydive?
Not at this point.
You have any tattoos?
No.
Salty or sweet?
Salty.
Morning or evening?
Evening.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Money or happiness?
Happiness.
Love or friendship?
Both.
Work or play?
Both.
Do you prefer driving or flying?
Driving.
Do you kill bugs you find inside or take them outside?
Depends on the bug.
Fresh food or fried food?
Fresh.
And last question that I always... Oh, let me... One more. What's your guilty pleasure? No one knows about it, but it's like something brings you...
I don't think that's staying up too late to read.
Okay. Last question.
So dorky.
If money was no object
Yes.
and time, you could be anywhere at any time. Like you don't have to take a plane to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could just go, hey, if I want to be at the Bahamas tomorrow, you're at the Bahamas tomorrow. You have 24 hours.
Okay.
Where would you go? What would you do?
I'd go to Prague.
Prague? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'd explore Czech Republic, and I still have some family there, and I've never been there, and that's a strong piece of my heritage on my mom's side, so I'd like to go to Prague. I haven't been there.
Like it. That was unique. I haven't had anybody... Most people are like, I'm going to the beach and I'm done. So, well, thank you, Allison, for joining us. If someone wanted to reach out to you, find you, your Instagram handle is...
At Allison White.
We'll put it on here as well.
Yeah,
so
we'll put it
spell
on. And yeah, you can find me there. Or Facebook, I'm Allison White. Deily is my maiden name.
And if you're interested in learning more about oils, Young Living, whatever it is, please reach out to Allison. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to our listeners for joining. Please make sure and take a moment to like and subscribe the YouTube channel. Make sure to leave us a review on the Apple Podcast or Spotify. And thanks again for joining us on the closing table. We'll see you guys next time.